This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
First at 11, a Storm Team 6 alert. Rain is falling across central Indiana and is not going away anytime soon. Good evening to you. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Let's get right to Storm Team 6 Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory with your forecast. Kevin.
And I'll add to the mix thunderstorms as well. If you thought you heard rumbles of thunder, you did. Numerous thunderstorms. I think we'll see the strongest winds during the day Saturday. I'll nail that down a little bit more detail coming up. Near record temperatures tomorrow. 2 to 5 inch rainfall potential between now and the end of this on Saturday evening. Decent rain with some lightning between Lebanon and Zionsville. This is moving towards Sheridan, Cicero, through Hamilton County and areas northeast Tipton and Marion. A expanding area of rain in western Indiana, and then following that, another wave. So this will continue tonight, and I think what happens overnight, it will be along I-70 and then drop more to the south of Interstate 70. Those of you that haven't had any rain yet, we'll get that by morning. Temperatures, they'll be in the 50s to start the day. Where will they end? What changes for Saturday? That's all still straight ahead.
Police say a crash that killed a man on the south side of Indianapolis may have been a hit and run. A body was found on the side of the road near the intersection of State Road 135 and Thompson Road around 7 o'clock tonight. A woman tells RTV6 shortly before the man was found dead, she called 911 after witnessing a man walking in the middle of the road.
It was very terrifying. I cried and had a panic attack on my way to my husband's work.
Madison Boucher says that stretch of road is very dark. We will bring you updates as we learn more.
It wasn't until you stepped in, all of a sudden they have something to show that the bus driver is doing her job. Prior to that, I couldn't get anywhere.
New at 11, an Indianapolis mother turns to RTV6. She's fed up with a transportation department that she says is failing to pick her daughter up for school. RTV6's Cameron Riddle got the answers she was looking for from Washington Township schools, plus advice for other parents.
For most parents, finding out that their child missed the school bus in the morning can throw a huge wrench in all of the morning's plans. Tonight, a Washington Township mother says that is happening far too often to her and her daughter.
There's been an incident or two where my daughter will be standing there and she's not stopping.
Nichelle Morrison is a single mother and depends on her daughter Linda's Washington Township bus driver to get her to school after she leaves for work in the morning.
Oh, yes, I have to have it. It's the only way she's guaranteed to make it to school at the same time every day.
Morrison says dozens of times this year her daughter has not made it on the bus due to the driver either arriving 20 minutes early or not at all. The transportation department says there were issues during the first weeks of school, but all issues with Linda's bus to 6th grade were ironed out in the fall.
There'll be moments of it getting better, and then shortly after, it's right back to not coming.
Morrison has had numerous conversations with school and transportation officials, but says it's not clear when the bus is supposed to arrive. I took Morrison's concerns to Washington Township Schools Transportation Department, which provided GPS data proving Linda's bus has been arriving on time for her 8:48 pickup. On Monday, the bus waited for 13 seconds, another 13 seconds on Wednesday, and 16 seconds Thursday morning. The district says only on Tuesday of this week was the bus late due to a substitute driver running 12 minutes behind. But 6th grader Linda was not at the bus stop. I showed that same data to Morrison.
Oh my God, you've done fabulous. It just would be nice if I could get that kind of assistance when I call myself.
The district says this kind of confusion can be avoided when parents use the Here Comes the Bus app, which alerts parents and students when the school bus is nearby. For now, Morrison is considering sending her daughter to school in a taxi cab. The district's transportation director says he plans to personally be at Linda's bus stop to ensure that a taxi isn't necessary.
But if that's what I got to do, so she's either not late or absent, that's just what I'm going to have to do. I got no choice.
Working for you on the north side, Cameron Riddle, RTV6.
Well, several central Indiana school districts have apps for families to track their school buses. Many districts use the My Stop or Here Comes My Bus app. To find out which app your district is using, contact your school's transportation department.
Trash and junk are piling up at a mobile home park on the southwest side of Indianapolis, as you can see right here. This mess is at the I-70 mobile home park where residents have been forced to move out. The health department tells RTV6 it has issued a notice of violation to address the trash problem. A re-inspection is scheduled for Tuesday. We have been following the situation at that mobile home park since August after residents received a letter saying they and their mobile homes had to be off the property in a week. After RTV6 got involved, the Attorney General wound up filing a lawsuit which gave those residents extra time and resources to move.
Later this month, we'll learn more about the future of a former marsh that neighbors say is a magnet for litter, vandalism, and crime. RTV6 has learned Traders Point Christian Church purchased the empty building at 62nd and Keystone on the north side. According to the church's website, it is expanding services to Broad Ripple this year. The manager of the hardware store across the street tells us he welcomes this development.
I think church is great in there. I don't know why anybody would be opposed to a church. I mean, that's better than seeing a CBD oil place come and go, tattoo parlors, anything like that.
Church leaders say they'll announce exactly how they plan to use the building in the coming weeks. Some other former Marsh stores have also found new life, not as supermarkets. The location at 75th and Shadeland on the northeast side of Indianapolis is now a community health center. The store near State Road 37 and 146th Street in Noblesville is a trampoline park, and the building on State Road 44 in Shelbyville is now home to Golden Bear Preschool. And some former Marsh locations are thriving as new grocery stores. The store on 82nd Street near Allisonville Road and 86th Street in Westfield are now Aldi's stores. In downtown Indianapolis, the West Michigan Street store is a Kroger, and the New Jersey Street store is now a Needler's. And many Marsh buildings are still vacant, including locations at 116th and Brooks School Road in Fishers, 21st and Post on the east side, Kentucky Avenue and Man Road on the southwest side, 38th and Eagle Creek on the west side, and Main Street near Crawfordsville Road in Brownsburg.
A hearing on the plan to allow a health clinic to operate in Broad Ripple Park is delayed. The issue is now set to go before the Department of Metropolitan Development on February 5th. The new community center project is set to break ground in the next few months, pending the outcome of a few more hearings. The facility would include primary care facilities for Community Health Network. We told you Tuesday some neighbors are still fighting the proposal. Indy Park says the project is a partnership that will help fund the entire center.
Well, now to the State House, where lawmakers are making an effort to help families who want to adopt children in the foster system. Currently, Indiana foster parents receive a state per diem to help offset costs for things like food and clothes. But when they want to adopt that child, many parents say the Department of Child Services has offered payments as low as $1 a day. Senator David Nitzgotsky has introduced a proposal that would create a minimum adoption subsidy of at least 50% of what the foster family currently receives from the state.
We know that when you go to adopt, obviously you love those children, but the financial means of these adoptive families or parents, they are not changing, and the needs of the children are not changing either. So the adopted subsidies should not change.
The bill would also make it clear that DCS and the court system cannot consider adoption assistance or subsidies when determining whether to place a child in the home. This is not a budget year in the State House, and that's not stopping some lawmakers from trying to get raises for teachers this year. Democrats in the Senate are proposing options. One would provide $100 million to teachers across the state in each of the next 2 years using extra state revenue. Under another proposal, some payments to the Teacher Retirement Fund would not come from the state's general fund. That would free up $100 million a year for teacher pay increases.
We heard the 15,000 plus teachers who came wearing red for education in November. We heard their concerns. We're willing to address their concerns. We're willing to do that this year.
Republicans in the State House have said they're not opening up the budget this year for teacher pay. They are discussing using excess revenue for paying off some debts.
Now to Washington, where House Democrats approved a resolution to limit President Trump's war powers. And while on the campaign trail tonight, the president defended the airstrike that killed a top Iranian general. ABC's Rachel Scott has the latest.
President Trump on the campaign trail touting his administration's military action against Iran.
And last week, the United States once again took the bold and decisive action to save American lives and deliver American justice. And you know what I'm talking about.
But back in Washington, House Democrats took a step to limit his ability to act unilaterally again.
The president to say, I inform you by reading my tweets. No, that's not the relationship that our founders had in mind.
The House approving a resolution requiring the president to get congressional approval for any future military action against Iran that lasts longer than 30 days, making an exception only in cases where the U.S. is defending itself from an imminent and armed attack. The president defended his decision to kill Iran's top commander, Qasem Soleimani, offering a new explanation.
We did it because they were looking to blow up our embassy. We also did it for other reasons that were very obvious.
But several senators who were briefed on the intelligence say there was no mention of a plot to bomb an embassy. And some lawmakers left that briefing Wednesday night dissatisfied.
Probably the worst briefing I've seen, at least on a military issue, in the 9 years I've served in the United States Senate.
The president ramping up economic pressure on Iran with fresh sanctions after the regime launched 16 missiles at 2 bases where American troops are stationed. An early warning system allowed American troops to scramble into their bunkers prior to the attack, resulting in no casualties for U.S. or coalition forces. And an Iranian general today threatened more attacks by proxies. The Trump administration says it remains ready, saying the regime still poses a very real threat. Rachel Scott, ABC News, Washington.
And this evening, demonstrators gathered in downtown Indianapolis calling for peace between the U.S. and Iran. The silent demonstration was held on Monument Circle. The organizers spoke before the event, saying no one benefits from war.
We've sunk trillions of dollars into wars that have done nothing but destabilize the region and displace or kill millions of people.
Several anti-war demonstrations have been held across the country since the U.S. airstrike on Iran.
Many people take college classes while also working full or part-time to pay for tuition. Now that will be easier for some Hoosiers thanks to a new partnership.
She was a friend, you know, like you would not suspect this at all.
And the Texas man grieving the death of his fiancée speaks for the first time about the shocking arrest in the case.
To donate to Goodwill.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
It makes me angry. These beautiful kids don't deserve this. She didn't deserve this.
The Texas man whose fiancée was killed and baby was kidnapped is speaking publicly for the first time since police arrested a suspect. The victim's best friend faces charges in the case. ABC's Trevor Alt reports there are still many unanswered questions.
You're so beautiful. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Shane Carey can once again hold his little girl Margot, but the father and daughter are still coming to terms with the reality of their loss after Shane's fiancée, Heidi Broussard, was murdered.
I just wish her mom was here.
Broussard disappeared December 12th, just 2 weeks after giving birth. Her baby girl also missing. After a week of investigating, authorities found the 33-year-old mother strangled to death in the trunk of a car. In a shocking twist, that car belonged to Megan Firamuska, one of Broussard's best friends, and Margot was found safe inside Firamuska's home.
She was a friend, you know, like you would not suspect this at all. Like, at all.
Firamuska is now charged with kidnapping and tampering with evidence. Police say she deceived the family by allegedly faking her own pregnancy and plotting to steal Margot and pass her off as her own daughter. Friends say Firamuska seemed genuinely concerned when Broussard disappeared.
I talked to Megan numerous times a day the whole week Heidi was missing. I heard baby Margot one time in the background of a phone call.
At the time, Rachel assumed the crying baby was Megan's child. Now, even though Margot's been reunited with her father, Shane Carey is still coming to grips with what happened.
But why? Why?
Heidi Broussard's family is now setting up a foundation to support children and families who have been through traumatic events like their family has. Megan Firamuska is due for her first court appearance next month. Trevor Alt, ABC News, New York.
IMPD officers are calling on the community to stand together after another apparent act of violence. Police found a man and woman dead in a vehicle on Irwin Avenue on the northeast side just after 11 o'clock this morning. How they died is still under investigation, but officers were called to the scene on a report of a shooting.
It's disappointing to live in our city, and we love our city, to see that this type of crimes are occurring in our city. I think the biggest thing here is that there's several different resources. There are places that people can go to for said help, and I think it's important that we as a community stand together and we can try to figure out this stuff.
The victims have not been identified, but they were adults, according to investigators. Police are also investigating a morning homicide on the west side. Officers found a woman dead on Westmore Drive near 10th and Girls School Road just after 10:30 this morning. Investigators say it appears she was shot to death. If you have information about this or any crime, you can call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 317-262-TIPS.
Another Central Indiana police chief is calling it a career. Today, Zionsville announced Chief Robert Knox will retire this spring after more than 40 years as a police officer. He's been with the department for 36 years, including 8.5 as chief, according to the town. His last day will be April 6, making Zionsville the latest local town or city to get a new police chief this year. Randall Taylor took over for Brian Roach as IMPD chief at the start of the year. Roach led the department for 3 years. Taylor is a 30-year law enforcement veteran. And Nathan Sloan is the new chief in Muncie. He has been with the department for 18 years, serving most of that time as a detective. Former Chief Joe Winkle left the department on December 30th. And in Beech Grove, the mayor promoted former Deputy Chief Michael Maurice to the top position. He replaces Mark Swartz, who announced his retirement last month.
The Indianapolis Department of Public Works is already preparing for heavy rain. DPW says its staff has been active all week, reviewing key points along levees and other flood control infrastructure. Crews from several departments will be on standby to address high water or wind issues throughout the weekend. And of course, we are monitoring those flood warnings that we've seen all evening.
And we've started to see some rain come in too this evening.
So I think what happens overnight tonight just sets the stage then for more flooding as we get to Saturday, especially. That's when the winds will be strongest as well. Most of us just getting our first dose of rain here. Anywhere along and north of Interstate 70 has been the most active in the last little bit, and you can see that stretches back to St. Louis. What happens overnight, I think this will start to drop and fill in areas south of Interstate 70. Just to show you the forecast models and their variability, this is just for Indianapolis. Between now and Saturday night, anywhere from 2 inches to 5 inches of rain, and I think thunderstorms will play a role in that variability. You get under a couple of thunderstorms, obviously rainfall rates can be higher. Temperatures 59 tomorrow, the record 62. That goes back to the 1970s. 64 anticipated Saturday before the cold front goes through. Cold or colder and dry as we get to Sunday. Rain probabilities are right at the top here for the next couple of days through Saturday evening. Likelihood is we'll have a few rounds of showers and thunderstorms. The peak wind gusts and this wind will likely lead to some power outages just because I think the duration of the wind staying strong, and then some of these peak gusts near 50 from late morning to early evening. Once the sun sets, that will help a little bit. Rain chances tomorrow. Need the umbrella all day long. There'll be times where you sit in your car, wait it out, and then make a dash for work or to get in the house. 7 a.m. ongoing pockets of heavy rainfall. We see some breaks in there through the day, and then I think the stage will be set for Sunday or Saturday morning to see more widespread rain. 64, the high temperature Saturday, cooler and dry on Sunday. 7 a.m. Saturday morning, ongoing rain. You'll begin to see the intensity of the rainfall pick up mid-morning, and there's the line. 1 o'clock in the afternoon to the east it goes. We'll still have some showers after that, but I think the intensity of the rain will end mid to early afternoon in the eastern portion of the state. We may have a couple of snow showers mix in as we get to Saturday night. There, your temperatures incredibly mild through the first half of Saturday. They start to fall after that. We'll need it. We'll get it. Sunday and Monday, a chance to dry out a little bit. 2 days where temperatures are in the 40s. But when we're mild once again, Tuesday and Wednesday, our rain chances will come back up. Dave?
Kevin, will start on a sad note tonight. Word that the great golf architect Pete Dye has passed away. He lived just off 18 Fairway at Crooked Stick up in Carmel. His name was as big as any in the world of golf. He and his late wife Alice creating some of the most legendary courses around the globe. Pete had been battling Alzheimer's for several years. He just turned 94 last week. Well, good evening. The games go on. Purdue's 2 golf courses created by Pete. But tonight, though, Purdue tangling up with Michigan on the road. Juwan Howard, his first year as the head coach, almost saw it end in regulation tonight, but Trevion Williams, watch him here. He blows the bunny at the buzzer. Still a monster night for him, though. 36 points, 20 rebounds. Purdue's bench thought they'd won it. Let's call it 2 overtimes in this one, shall we? Michigan pulled away in the final one. John Teskey, the and one, he had 18. Xavier Simpson, team high 22. Michigan hangs on 84-78. The Boilers now 2-3 in the Big Ten. Fines are likely to come tomorrow following the dust-up between the Pacers' T.J. Warren and Miami's Jimmy Butler last night. And remember, there's a rematch coming up in March.
He's not even in my fucking league, like nowhere near me. And if I was their coach, I would never put him on me ever again. He's like, no.
Do you look forward to a rematch in March?
Oh yeah, I look forward to any matchup, not just a game against them. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I can't wait to play basketball again.
Bulls tomorrow. Some high school hoop. Hoosier hoop hysteria. Semis of the Hendricks County Tournament. Brownsburg and Cascade. Brownsburg and White. Look at the hustle. Photographer Dave Marin all over it. Luke Lacey there with the finish to get things going. Then off the break. Connor Lucas. Watch this behind the back. Up and in. Tough night for Cascade. Colin Sanders, though, cuts the lead here, but Brownsburg got 14 from both. Pierce Thomas and Tyree Lackey. 7th-ranked Dogs, they win it 57-31. They're now 10-1. Look at that. Brag to Thomas. Take that. At the other semi, 3, number 2, Danville, getting Plainfield. Danville coach Brian Barber just picking up his 400th career win Tuesday night. Danville and White. Here we go. Dylan Ware, the drive. He had 16 tonight. But back comes Plainfield in a big old way. Dane Gardner drives, hangs, and won. He had 13. Plainfield wins it 56-46. They're now 9-2, so it's Plainfield and Brownsburg in Saturday's finals. The news at 11 continues after.
Team 6 working for you.
Hoosiers is connecting you to training and education opportunities to help you land the job you want.
Classes start Monday for a program that will help fast food workers get a fast track through college. Today, Ivy Tech and McDonald's announced a statewide partnership. The Archways to Opportunity program, as it's called, provides tuition assistance to McDonald's employees who have worked 90 days at a minimum of 15 hours per week. Naomi Craven is a graduate of the program. She says she never thought she would be able to afford college.
I was one of those people, I never thought I would be able to go, but then I did, and I'm very excited that I am. I mean, if you're a person who has no money or no means, this is a very good program to start with.
Campus leaders say you still have time to enroll for classes on Monday. If that's too soon for you, the next 8 weeks of classes start in March. You can find more information on our website, hiringhoosiers.com. Well, this year, you're getting extra time to enjoy the Circle of Lights in downtown Indianapolis. The display was scheduled to come down this weekend, but downtown Indy says that's been delayed until next Saturday, the 18th, because of rain in the forecast. And the Carmel Festival of Ice is also making some schedule changes because of the forecast. All Saturday activities are canceled. Ice carving and other events will go on as planned tomorrow and Sunday, all because of the forecast.
Yeah, good job, Gregory.
Storm Shield app is free, and it's good to check up on radar wherever you